Hey guys, what's going on? Jeff here from Films at Home. A lot of people have been asking me recently to kind of update some old videos I did. I made some videos way back when, over a year ago, a year and a half ago, when I started this channel. Things like Scream Factory Collection, Criterion Collection, stuff like that, that I need to update. I need to tell you what I have since I made that last video. I have lots of new subscribers who may not have seen the video. And so what we're going to do today is we're going to start that. And we're going to start with my Criterion Collection. So I moved the shelf over here. I have a big Criterion shelf next to my speaker now. I moved it to the front of the room. I thought it was a really cool display piece, and I was kind of hiding it in the back of the room. So now it's front and center when you walk in, right next to my screen, which is right over here. And so I'm going to run you through that. Before I get started, I usually save this for the end of the video, but I'm going to put it at the front here because I really have always had this goal of hitting 10,000 subscribers by the summer. So hopefully by July or August, I hit 10,000. Right now, we're at 8,800 and counting. I need about 1,200 more subscribers to hit that 10,000 mark, which is a huge milestone. So if you haven't yet subscribed, I'd really appreciate it if you did, especially if you've been enjoying my videos and you're looking forward to some more of the content that I'll be putting out. I appreciate everybody who watches, but I'm really trying to shoot for that 10,000 number, and so I'd really appreciate if you did subscribe to the channel today. And with that being said, let's jump into these Criterion Collection movies. I'm just going to go one by one very quickly. Some of them I'll just gloss over. Some of them I'll talk about a little more, especially the newer ones. But let's just run through this collection. So the nice thing about the Criterion Collection is that they are all numbered. As you can see, I've got them in order. So that's pretty cool. It's an easy way to organize without needing to do alphabetical order or anything like that. And when you have a collection like this, it helps just to be able to have them numbered and know where to put them. So, first one, no Criterion Collection is complete without Seven Samurai. Classic Japanese movie by Kurosawa. You have to have it. Also, The Seventh Seal, another classic Ingmar Bergman film. Another one that you just have to have in your collection. Also here we have Silence of the Lambs. So this is a newer release. I don't believe this was in my last video, but Silence of the Lambs is a very great Criterion release. A really cool movie, but they did an awesome job with this Criterion. This is also another new one I picked up, a Fritz Lang movie called M. I got this used from Bull Moose, but it's basically about like a murder mystery. I heard really good things. I have Diabolique, Lord of the Flies. This is, you may have watched this in like an English class in school. English class, not, oh wow, I can't talk. You may have watched this in an English class in school. It's the old black and white one. Then we've got Insomnia, which this is the Swedish version of the American remake. I have Brazil, which is a classic. I haven't opened this one yet. It's a newer one, but this is the 39 Steps, Alfred Hitchcock movie. Also have the Carnival of Souls, classic horror movie. And then my first Wes Anderson, this is Rushmore. Brian De Palma, Sisters. Brian De Palma has a lot of stuff in the collection. He's a great director. Also have some more classic horror with The Blob. And The Hidden Fortress, another Kurosawa movie. Star Wars actually took a lot of elements from Hidden Fortress. George Lucas was inspired by them. I have Traffic. Another Wes Anderson, The Royal Tenenbaums. Really great movie. I think it's hilarious. Solaris, which people have been waiting for a Criterion for a long time. The Honeymoon Killers, another sort of murder movie. And then we're going to get into Videodrome, David Cronenberg. This is one of the first Criterions I got because I loved the packaging. And it sort of looks like a VHS tape on the side. Really, really cool. So this was one of my first ones. Next, we got Slacker. Sorry, these are backwards because of the artwork, but Slacker is a Richard Linklater movie. Came before Dazed and Confused. That was his first movie. And then Battle of Algiers, which is a classic history movie. Also have Hoop Dreams, the all-time great documentary. More Wes Anderson with The Life Aquatic. And some more Japanese cinema, Harikiri. I also have The Virgin Spring, which is an Ingmar Bergman film. This sort of has some elements that are similar to Last House on the Left, I believe. Let me double check and see if the back cover says that. Yeah, this is the one. The girl's, she's raped and there's a murder. Yeah. So Last House on the Left pulls a lot of elements from this movie. So it's always cool to check out the movies that inspire other movies. Then I have Dazed and Confused, Richard Linklater, which has some of the best artwork of any Criterion Collection release. I really, really like this one. Now, on to row 2. We've got big release here of Vampire. This is classic old Dracula story, I believe. I'm not sure if it's Dracula or Nosferatu or if it's its own sort of thing. I think it's actually its own thing. I haven't watched it yet, but a super cool box set. Now you've got the classic, the only one that ever came in a blue case. This is the Curious Case of Benjamin Button Blu-ray. So I do keep it on this shelf, even though it's not really in the same type of case. It is a Criterion. I've got Roman Polanski's Repulsion, Michael Fassbender and Steve McQueen, Hunger, about a hunger strike guy who was in the Irish. He was a Northern Irish during the rebellion. Paths of Glory, the classic Kirk Douglas Stanley Kubrick movie. And House, more classic Japanese horror. More Wes Anderson with the Darjeeling Limited. And then this is a newer release that I just picked up. This is Night of the Hunter, kind of a spooky movie. Robert Mitchum's in that. Really cool. I heard good things, so I picked that one up used. You can see it's a little banged up, but I got it for like $12, so it's hard to complain. First Charlie Chaplin movie. This is Modern Times. Also have Kronos, the Guillermo del Toro movie. Broadcast News, another classic drama. And Blowout with John Travolta and Nancy Allen. More Chaplin, one of my favorites, The Great Dictator. Love this movie. Some more classic horror with The Island of Lost Souls. And then an all-time great, 12 Angry Men. This is a must-have Criterion Collection movie, I'd say. Along with Godzilla, which this is a super cool release of the original. And it also has the Japanese and the American cuts. Spike Jonze getting in the collection with being John Malkovich. More Chaplin with The Gold Rush. I have a lot of Chaplin in here. A David Fincher movie, The Game. If you like David Fincher, he did Girl with the Dragon Tattoo. He did Social Network. He did Gone Girl. He did Seven. He's one of my favorite directors. The Game is one of his kind of movies that flies under the radar. But this was actually my first Criterion Collection release that I ever bought on Blu-ray. And I remember getting it on a great deal on Amazon. This is my first one ever, and I just fell in love with it. But I love this movie. I'd seen it on DVD, and I knew I had to have the Blu-ray. More classic horror here, Rosemary's Baby. Hard to go wrong with that one. And then this is pretty cool. This is Christopher Nolan, Following. It's black and white. It's about 70 minutes long. It's a sort of his first movie, I guess. His first experimental anything out of film school. Then I've got the classic On the Waterfront with Marlon Brando. Ministry of Fear, another Fritz Lang movie. Repo Man, really cool artwork on this one. The green looks awesome. That's Emilio Estevez. And then more classic horror with The Uninvited. This one's always like $15 around Halloween. It's one of the cheapest Criterions you can get, so I recommend it for that reason. Also have The Devil's Backbone, more Del Toro. And to finish off this row, some more Chaplin with City Lights. There's a ton of Charlie Chaplin movies in the Criterion Collection, so if you like his stuff, this is a great place to start because they have some of the best releases of his movies. Moving on down to the bottom row now, we've got Nashville, Thief. This is now out of print, I believe. I think that maybe the DVD Blu-ray combo pack is out of print, which Criterion does sometimes. Then you can only get the Blu-ray. Fantastic Mr. Fox, more Wes Anderson. Then we have A Hard Day's Night. If you like the Beatles, this is their first ever movie. This was made sort of right after their American tour when they really blew up. And it's actually really funny. They're hilarious in that movie. Then we have Scanners, another David Cronenberg movie. Classic, well known for the exploding head. You've probably seen that GIF online. Then we get some David Lynch, Eraserhead. Really weird movie. Don't Look Now with Julie Christie and Donald Sutherland. This is a really cool movie. I highly recommend it. The Thin Blue Line, the classic documentary by Errol Morris about, I believe, let me not get this wrong, but it's about a guy who got thrown in jail for the murder of a police officer, and he didn't, according to Errol Morris in the documentary, we don't think he did it based on the evidence. It ties in really nicely. If you like stuff like Serial and the Adnan Syed stuff, if you like Making a Murderer, if you like all that true crime stuff, this is sort of the OG. This is the original that got a lot of attention. So that's a documentary. It's really good. Then I have The Fisher King. This is with Robin Williams and Jeff Bridges. It's a Terry Gilliam movie. Pretty cool if you like either of those guys. Dressed to Kill is another Brian De Palma movie. I have The Brood, another David Cronenberg. Creepy, creepy cover. Like, what is that baby? What is that face? That one always got me creeped out. Then we have Mulholland Drive, more David Lynch, more weirdness. And then the weirdest movie in my collection is Jellyfish Eyes. Probably one of the weirdest movies in the Criterion Collection overall. But honestly, I found it at an FYE for like $5, and it was Criterion, so I picked it up. Complete Lady Snowblood, more Japanese cinema. Some old Frank Sinatra in The Manchurian Candidate. This is the original in black and white. And then some of these are new. This is a new classic that just came out to Criterion. This is The Graduate. I also have Dr. Strangelove, one of the best Criterion releases in my opinion. Great 4K transfer. I have The New World, Terrence Malick. That's a big, big release. Then I have Blood Simple, which is a Coen Brothers movie. That's a new one for me as well. And so is Pan's Labyrinth. So I got the whole Del Toro set. I got his 3 movies in the Criterion Collection, but I didn't buy the box set. I bought them individually for whatever reason. Also have Punch Drunk Love. This is a newer one. Paul Thomas Anderson. People have been wanting this on Blu-ray for a very long time, and Criterion Collection put it out. I also have the Before trilogy, Richard Linklater. These are the films with Ethan Hawke and Julie Delpy, which are very, very popular. Then I have Election, which is an Alexander Payne movie. You know him probably from Sideways or The Descendants. Some really good movies, but this one's really funny. It's a great movie. And then, of course, Night of the Living Dead, Criterion. This is one of my favorite releases that they've ever done. Just because they worked with George Romero before he passed. He supervised the 4K restoration along with screenwriter John Russo. And I have an autographed screenplay of Night of the Living Dead from John Russo. And so that's a really cool movie and one that really desperately needed a good Blu-ray release. There were a lot of them bouncing around out there. Criterion finally put together a solid transfer. And last but not least, on the bottom, this is the Zaitochi box set. This is Japanese samurai movies, basically. I forget exactly how many are in here. This is Zaitochi the Blind Swordsman. This set cost, I want to say, $100. I got it half off. It was $100. I think this might be out of print now. I'd have to double check. But either way, it was super expensive. I think there's something like 25 movies in here. But the box art is just, I mean, it's something you could display on a shelf. You know, it's really nice Japanese art all around. It's a beautiful, beautiful box. So I keep that one separate down here in the bottom. But that's pretty much, that's the update. That's the Criterion Collection. So, 3 shelves worth plus the box set. I've got a good collection going. picked up some new stuff. And so hopefully this guy gave you guys some ideas on what to buy and sort of what's out there if you're interested at all in Criterion. They really do have excellent stuff in their collection. So that's it for this video, guys. Thank you for watching. I appreciate it. And like I said at the beginning, if you could please subscribe, like the video, share this, comment, share it with your friends, spread the good word. We're going to hit that 10,000 mark. It's going to be a really big deal for me. I've been really, really looking forward to hitting that. It's a big milestone in YouTube just to get to the 10,000 subscriber mark. There are lots of cool new features you can do as a creator. So I'm really looking forward to it, and I appreciate the support. Also, make sure you follow me on Instagram. That's a great place to keep up with my day-to-day. And just keep supporting me. I really appreciate it. I appreciate all the comments, good, bad, negative, helpful. Even the spam stuff makes me laugh sometimes. So I appreciate it all. Thanks for all the support. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. Got to look at some of my Criterions that I haven't updated in a while. This has been a year and a half in the making. And so it had been requested by some viewers. I'm happy to do it. Hopefully you enjoyed it. And I will talk to you guys later.